Welcome to the deep dive. If you feel like the AI world is moving at a speed that compresses years of development into just months, you are not alone. We are in this hypervelocity moment. That acceleration is driving tensions to a really critical level.
It's more than just speed, it's the scale of the conflict. I mean, the financial stakes, the innovation, the security risks, they're all growing exponentially all at once.
And that tension is really the core of our deep dive today. We're looking at the brutal rivalry between the titans, mainly OpenAI and Google. There are reports that OpenAI leadership has declared an internal code red, and it's all because of the momentum from Google's Gemini AI.
Right. So our mission today is to give you the context on this escalating war. We've gone through a whole stack of sources, corporate announcements, security audits, field reports, and distilled them down. We're looking at three crucial battlegrounds. First, the corporate arms race. Second, the sudden and systemic security crisis. And third, the genuinely surprising ways AI is transforming the real world right now.
Our goal is to synthesize all of this so you know who's winning, where the biggest risks are hiding, and how AI is fundamentally changing business and life. So let's unpack this rivalry. Where are the battle lines being drawn?
It starts with the models themselves. The urgency is it's palpable. To counter Google, OpenAI is fast-tracking GPT-5.2. They're planning a release for December 9th.
So this isn't a normal update. This is a tactical maneuver.
Exactly. It's an accelerated, direct response to try and regain ground.
And Google's strategy seems to be to outflank them technologically, not just, keep pace.
Precisely. Google's flagship, Gemini 3 DeepThink, is already out for its Ultra subscribers. Its big advantage is what they're calling parallel processing.
Okay, so what does that actually mean in simple terms?
Well, instead of handling tasks one after another, it's executing multiple complex reasoning processes at the same time. This lets it tackle really tricky problems faster and more reliably. And the early benchmarks are already confirming this. It's outperforming its rivals.
And that performance is translating directly into market share, right? What's the user data telling us?
It's telling us the market is already shifting in a major way. Recent data shows Gemini usage shot up by 30%.
30%. And what about ChatGPT?
Its growth slowed to just 6%. So you have this 24-point difference in growth velocity. That signals a real tipping point.
So users are actively migrating.
They are. It suggests the performance gap, especially for enterprise tasks, is just getting too wide to ignore.
And that kind of market shift, that explains the high-stakes, almost dizzying financial maneuvers we're seeing. This isn't just about code. It's a trillion-dollar bet.
And no one is betting bigger than SoftBank CEO Masayoshi's son. His conviction is, it's almost legendary now, he just revealed that he sold SoftBank's $5.8 billion stake in NVIDIA not once, but twice.
Twice? Wow. Just to free up capital.
Exactly. And he's pouring it heavily into OpenAI and other AI projects. He's even pushing for this massive, unprecedented $1 trillion AI hub. He just dismisses any talk of a bubble.
Okay, but is that gamble? Is that confidence shared by the wider investment community? Because I'm hearing OpenAI's proposed $1.4 trillion expansion is facing some skepticism.
That's the complex reality. The market is weighing the risk. Analysts are nervous about the capital required, the soaring costs, and the unpredictable demand for models that change every few months.
Whereas Google's parent company, Alphabet
looks much more stable to them. Diversified ventures, robust financials, it's winning more favor right now. So the competition isn't just about the best model, it's about the most sustainable financial structure.
And we can't ignore the third player here, Anthropic, founded by ex-OpenAI people. And they've carved out a very specific and very lucrative niche.
That's right. Their Claude Code programming assistant has been a phenomenal success. It hit $1 billion in revenue in just 6 months.
$1 billion in 6 months?
Yeah. And that positions them as a leader in the secure enterprise space, which is a key differentiator from OpenAI's more consumer-focused history with ChatGPT.
This whole brawl is reshaping the market so fast that regulators are scrambling to catch up. What are we seeing on the legal front?
Well, governments are finally stepping in. In the U.S., a key antitrust ruling just forced Google to halt mandatory bundling deals for Gemini AI.
The ones they had with Apple and Samsung.
Exactly. So that decision is crucial. It opens the market for rivals to compete for that prime real estate on your phone.
And in the EU, Meta is facing its own probe.
Yeah, they're under investigation for restricting third-party chatbots like ChatGPT on WhatsApp and instead pushing their own Meta AI. The EU sees that as potentially anti-competitive.
So the race accelerates, development gets pushed to the limit. But if they're fast-tracking things like GPT-5.2, you have to ask where corners are being cut.
That speed always comes with trade-offs. And that brings us to the security risks in this whole environment.
Right, the hidden cost. And it seems the biggest price is being paid in software security. Let's start with this massive finding in developer tools.
A huge security audit of popular AI coding assistants. We're talking GitHub Copilot. Amazon Q uncovered over 30 critical vulnerabilities.
30. In the tools developers use every single day.
Researchers have appropriately dubbed it I-disaster.
That is staggering. What exactly is the risk?
The severity is, you can't overstate it. These flaws risk developer data theft and, even worse, remote code execution.
So this isn't something you can just patch over.
No. Experts are warning this is a design failure. They believe the underlying platforms must be fundamentally redesigned for AI safety, or these risks will just keep coming back.
And what's fascinating is the way these flaws are being exploited. It's not just bad code. It's about weaponizing the model's creativity.
Exactly. Researchers discovered that certain carefully constructed poetic prompts can actually bypass the safety mechanisms.
Poetic prompts. So you can write a poem to jailbreak an AI.
In effect, yes. The model's ability to interpret nuance is the very thing that lets bad actors slip instructions past the guardrails. We've already seen prompt injection attacks against tools like Google's Gemini CLI in GitHub Actions.
So as these new attacks emerge, what's the state of the defense?
Companies are rushing to build countermeasures. A leading example is Perplexity's Browse Safe feature. It's achieving over 91% detection accuracy against these prompt injection attacks.
Which is good, but it's still an arms race.
It's a constant, nonstop arms race.
And beyond the code itself, this whole security discussion is spilling over into societal systems. We're seeing AI deployed in politics now.
And that's driving this urgent need for regulation. Political campaigns worldwide are using AI for hyper-personalized voter targeting. In the US, in India, it's leading to these unified calls for global rules to protect electoral integrity.
Then you have the misinformation factor. Google just launched VO 3.1, which generates these hyper-realistic videos.
Which massively escalates deepfake concerns.
But at the same time, they're deploying Synthid to watermark AI content. So they're building the fire and the fire extinguisher.
It's a strange contradiction. And for you, as a user, privacy is still a huge concern. Recent analysis found Anthropic's Claude offers the strongest default privacy protections.
So for ChatGPT and Gemini, you need to go in and adjust your settings.
You really do. Especially if you're having sensitive discussions, you need to manually opt out to ensure your data isn't used for training.
That is a critical takeaway. Okay, so let's pivot from the risk to the reward. How is AI actually transforming the real world beyond just text and pictures?
This is where we see the payoff. In aerospace engineering, Blue Origin unveiled Blue GPT. It's an internal platform with 2,700 specialized agents.
You know what did it do?
It cut hardware development time for their lunar systems by a remarkable 90%.
90%.
Yeah.
That's not just efficiency. That fundamentally changes the physics of innovation.
It does, and we're seeing it in academia, too. The Axiom Prover system autonomously solved the majority of the Putnam 2025 math problems. This is high-level reasoning we thought was years away.
And that same kind of precision is radically improving human health.
Absolutely. In medicine, LLMs are changing histopathology, analyzing medical images for disease. The AI delivers highly accurate diagnoses fast.
And we have real-world patient impact from that. I saw data from Singapore.
Yes, AI-assisted spine surgery there has cut surgery times by 20%. But even more importantly, it has halved patient recovery time.
Halved it. That's life-changing.
And on a public health scale, it's enormous. India is rolling out new AI programs, Madhu-Nitrai and CATB, to fight diabetes and tuberculosis across millions of people.
The change is also quietly integrating into our daily consumer experience.
Right. For instance, Microsoft is integrating Anthropic's Model Context Protocol, MCP, right into Windows 11.
And that's a big deal for privacy, isn't it?
It's a game changer. It lets you do secure natural language file management right on your machine without uploading sensitive data to the cloud.
It's also transforming how we shop. Things like Amazon's Rufus and ChatGPT's research mode.
They're completely changing retail. They're personalizing recommendations, streamlining purchase decisions. It's having a huge impact on online sales.
And even creativity is being reshaped. I saw a report about Nashville.
Yeah, AI songwriting tools like Suno are fundamentally changing the country music industry. Songwriters can produce polished demos incredibly fast, and that's helping them secure deals.
So all of this leads to the final big question. What does this mean for the future of work?
Well, Amazon CEO Matt Garman made a really bold prediction. He said AI agents will be more transformative for business than the internet or even cloud computing.
More than the internet. That's a huge claim.
It is, and it forces us to redefine human labor. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang forecasts entirely new jobs. He joked about apparel for robots, but the insight is real. The market will shift to managing these new agents.
And we're already seeing that start to happen, this solopreneur revolution in China.
Exactly. Young graduates launching one-person startups using affordable AI tools to compete with established companies, all without the traditional overhead.
So this brings us back to the core synthesis. On one hand, this unprecedented acceleration in productivity.
Cutting engineering time by 90%, solving complex math, revolutionizing surgery.
But on the other hand, these fundamental systemic security flaws, the ID disaster, at the very foundation of it all.
It's a paradox. We've covered the blistering speed, the billion-dollar stakes, and the exponential utility. The tension between risk and reward has never been higher.
And here's the essential reality check to balance out all the hype.
Right. Despite all the talk about fully autonomous AI agents, new research shows that most corporate AI agents still operate with pretty simple workflows. And crucially, they still require frequent human checks for safety and productivity. We're not at full unsupervised automation yet. The ambition is still ahead of the reality.
That reality check is the perfect place to end because it brings up a critical question. We just talked about how Anthropic's Claude code generated $1 billion in revenue. AI is now reliably writing its own code. Yet we also learned a massive audit found over 30 critical vulnerabilities in those very tools, calling it I disaster. So, given the urgent corporate push for fully autonomous AI agents, how long can human oversight reliably safeguard systems that are designing, deploying, and potentially compromising themselves? That's the complex relationship between speed and safety you should be mulling over as you watch this space evolve.